Here with head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gus Bradley. Gus, we've been able to get to know you a little bit over the last couple of years, been coach at the Senior Bowl for the last couple of years. Before we talk Combine, I'd love for you to talk about that week, because you and your staff has garnered a reputation as like the great Senior Bowl coaches of all time because of your energy, your infectious energy, and that's clearly something that you pride yourself on.
Well, I think, it's another opportunity. There's so many evaluation tools to use on these guys. Obviously, the film is very high up there, but the Senior Bowl, you get a lot of time spent with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And I think our staff has always had the mindset to take advantage of it. Now, we don't want to make it a habit
annual
of ours.
tradition.
But it was fruitful for you. You had a
it
lot
really
of picks
is.
last year that all played for you in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, the numbers that we picked up from the Senior Bowl last year that helped our team, guys like Telvin Smith and Aaron Colvin are going to be really good assets for us.
You guys have the number 3 overall pick in this draft. You got your quarterback. You got to think Winston or Mariota's going to go in that top 3. So you might have different positions you want to fill. Have you even started looking at that roster and thinking, here's the ideal spot that we want at that 3?
Well, I think as a coaching staff, we had to make some hires on the offensive side. So right now we're focusing on taking care of that and the free agency. And but I know our scouting department, Dave Caldwell and the staff have done a great job with that. But that's what the Combine really starts that process for us as a coaching staff. But there's a lot of good candidates out there.
The interview process and the vetting of the medical history, obviously, probably foremost on your mind here at the Combine. How much would you say, in maybe percentages or just overall, you think, do you evaluate the on-the-field drills here in Indianapolis or the interviews, the 15 minutes that you get with each player?
Well, you don't get much time, 15 minutes, and it really, every team is different how they attack that. Some people try to get in the mindset of the players. Some will talk scheme and try to figure those things out. But, you try to utilize every bit of it. On the field, you get a chance to see some specific drills. We always try to get our assistant coaches on the field with the players. So not only do we see it from the stands, but also our coaches give great feedback after they've worked out with the group of, say, O-linemen or tight ends.
We're talking free agency and draft, but maybe the most important acquisitions this offseason for you guys was in the coaching staff. 2 guys come from Buffalo, both Doug Marrone and Nathaniel Hackett. You guys get both of these very well-respected coaches. What's it like for the coaching staff?
Well, it's been really good. Anytime there's change like that, you're trying to put together a staff and utilize everybody's strengths. And one of the things I think I'm excited about is we've had, the additions of a really good staff that we had in place, and then 4 new additions, and all 4 of them have been coordinators.
Yeah.
So to extract that wisdom, that mindset that, they've been there, done that before, and generate good ideas, and putting it all together that meet the strength of our players is always a challenge. But, so far it's been a really good process for us.
This looks like another very deep class of wide receivers in this draft, and I'm struck because you guys clearly could go a pass threat route for Blake on the outside, or you could shore up your defense with some very good pass rushers with that number 3 pick. Do you look at the depth of a draft at one position and maybe pass over one position for another based on the fact that you think you can get a quality player later in the draft?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. You take best available,
right,
or you try to meet your needs. And I think there's you try to satisfy each. But it's a good group of wide receivers last year, and we were fortunate to get a couple good receivers out of that group. And they helped us. But I think as we put this thing together, we have a really distinct plan that we're following. And we knew that was going to be a process, and each year we really want to build it through the draft.
Yeah.
Free agency is important, but really our mindset is the draft, and that's how we want to build our team. So you're going to have chances to look at players from multiple position groups when our number's called to have the availability to pick from.
The Super Bowl was such a big game, and everyone was watching it. You were with those guys for a lot of time. Have you spoken to Pete Carroll? Did you text some of those players? Watching it, where were you that Sunday when fourth quarter, Marshawn
you
Lynch
said
in
you
the
were going to talk
backfield.
about that.
We're going to really rub it in here. No, but hey, did you talk to the guys yet?
Yeah, you know what? You text and you just wish them, let them know that you're thinking about them. And, it's the one thing that I have a lot of respect for Pete and the staff and the whole Seattle franchise is their boldness. Just like at halftime, with 6 seconds left, and they go for a shot and they make a play, and that boldness is what has made their group special and that team special. So I think he said it great, in that we don't look back at the call as just the outcome.
Yeah.
And but that boldness is what's made them special as an organization, as a team. So you can't pick and choose when to be bold, and I think that's I tip my hat off to all of them.
Gus, you guys at Jacksonville have built a very solid foundation. We wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Before we end, I got to say this. When Joel Klatt was a high school kid up in Colorado,
We
Your
recruited
staff,
them, yeah.
North Dakota. Wait,
Yeah.
tell the story. I love
know.
that.
Now that part of the recruiting process, I mean, we went after
You were at
quarterbacks
North
across
Dakota
the
State.
You were the
across
head coach
United-
of North Dakota?
No,
Where
I was
were you?
I was the defensive coordinator.
Defensive
at the
coordinator,
time.
and you see this kid.
Yeah,
I was a
we
quarterback.
Scrawny, blonde-haired kid
We
with
went.
a
I mean,
noodle
we went
arm.
Florida, Colorado, California, everywhere, and he was number one on our list.
Number
but,
one on the board.
You know, we couldn't convince him to
The
be
Fargo
a Bison.
Dome just wasn't happening.
The problem is I went on my recruiting trip to Fargo, North Dakota in February, and it wasn't happening after that. It was
It's the
very
people,
cold.
all right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
true.
people.
I didn't get a very good feel for it. Best of luck this year
Thank
with
you so much.
Jacksonville.
I
all right?
appreciate it.